Physically tough, mentally challenging, and downright exhausting. But enough about me. We're here to talk about the metaverse. Yes, welcome back to another Pavia Metaverse chat with me, Ross Simpson, Community and Marketing Manager, joined with the one and only
Pavia Paul.
Pavia Paul, how are you?
I'm good, Ross. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's been an incredibly busy month this month.
It sure has.
Arguably, July has been the busiest yet with the introduction of the playground.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been?
Brilliant. It's been absolutely amazing. So everybody knows, recap, the playground is a development environment, 100 plots of land, just for us to develop in public with our community, our patient community. Mm-hmm. And it's gone extremely well. The benefits to the community have been, they can go, oh, this is amazing. Well, I can install this. It works. I can run around. I can see stuff, get a sense of what's going on. And also, Discord has been really, really active, not just with, I've got a new idea, a feature improvement, or I found a bug. The bug stuff's been really fun, actually.
It's
and
great.
We've left in deliberately because they're good fun glitches, and then we fix them over time. But also a plethora of brilliant suggestions. So it's live. It's 24/7 live. It doesn't go down. You can go to our website, which is pavia.io / I think it's playground. It's there, and you can just download it if you have a PC and come in and join us. But it's gone really, really well. All the feedback's been positive. Lots of things we've tested, things like we just have a single server in London at the moment, and actually the ping has not been too bad. People have had no real lag issues, which has been amazing. And then we rolled out with features like voice chat and text chat, so global proximity chat, so you can hear people as they walk past you. When they're in the distance, you can't hear them. But what's been really nice is people can do private calls, voice call. That's been used really, really well. That's working brilliantly. And the one that's been less used, but I think will be prominently used when people kind of figure out it's there, the UI is a little bit not obvious at the minute, is group chat. So actually, the beauty of group voice calls is you can just jump in like a party chat with your friends. You have private, text chat, but more importantly, you have private voice chat. And of course, this means if you all want to run in different directions, because people love to explore, it doesn't matter because you all stay.
You're just not restricted.
You're not restricted. You can all hear each other no matter where you run.
Yeah.
So the spatial voice chat is really immersive, but the other two features are great. And then the other big thing about the playground, one of the reasons for doing it is Pavia is a live services game. That means it's up all the time. And from a community perspective, that's amazing because it's a real world that never goes away and they can always deploy new content to it. But from us as a dev studio, it's really important to get into the habit of pushing stuff to this live environment without fear of messing up, breaking it, and so on and so forth. And that's actually a really important muscle that any engineering team needs to build out. So already we've been patching weekly. I think we actually missed 1 week, but we've been patching weekly, if not every other week, and pushing fixes, new features, and all that stuff to the playground really successfully. And already we're finding like a great rhythm with that. So we've taken feedback from the community, and we have a whole bunch of features that we've already rolled out just in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Very exciting. There's obviously, like you said, a lot of stuff coming back from the community that we've managed to fix, which is just invaluable feedback. But on top of that, behind the scenes, there's a lot going on, and it's really important for us, I think, to actually get that kind of stuff right, because on a bigger scale, it's crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the beauty of this, right? Because no one knows exactly. Every company or every game studio or whatever has a pretty solid vision of what they're trying to do, but there's nothing better than actually getting direct feedback from the people who want to use it. And for us, it's already been amazing because simple things like people have gone, I find the offset of the player from the main center of the screen a little bit off-putting. I'm used to it being over here. Some people love it, some people less so. So we've introduced, you now have shoulder offset. You can go either side and you can adjust it how you like. And while we were at it, we did camera distance and field of view. So actually you can really control. I mean, you can go so extreme at the moment. It almost feels like a top-down.
It's like a GTA top-down. Yeah, this is PlayStation 1. Yeah.
Or you can come straight back in and view it in the default setting. So things like that we've already rolled out. Camera, you can one-click snapshot a screen. Which is brilliant for those people that like to post stuff to social media and so on and so forth. I'm just trying to think what else we did. We rolled out emojis into the text already. We've introduced that so people can not just text chat but emoji chat.
And they seem like small things, but this is all part of the plan. This is all part of getting feedback, and this is why it's so important to do this test environment publicly is to get this kind of information, right?
Yep. And then we've got some cool stuff coming in the next patch and the patch
Yeah,
after
so
that already.
talk to me a little bit about the player and how, because there's lots been done on, cameras and bugs and fixes, but talk to me about the actual movement of the player. What's going on there?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things about the player. First and foremost, players in these environments tend to have like a bubble above their head, or the pill as we call it, which translates certain information to the other players. So we've been enhancing that all the time. So now you're going to be able to know if someone's got their mic muted, you'll know because they get a new symbol there. If someone's in a private, we realize very quickly, if you're in a private chat or a group chat, no one else knows you are. So they're waving at you trying to have a conversation, and you don't want to be rude, but you can't tell them you're in a group chat. We've fixed that now the whole pill goes orange, and everybody, right, okay, I can't talk to this person, they're currently in a chat. So there's a bunch of things just communicated through the pill alone. And I think tomorrow probably we'll roll out away from keyboard, AFK.
Nice.
So there's some auto detection there that if someone's actually dormant, you don't spend a lot of time trying to have a conversation with someone who's actually walked away from their computer. So that will be visible.
That's great.
But back to the player, we've already introduced a few, player mechanics like crouching wasn't there. It's now there. Crouch jump, which means you can jump a little higher. I think that was your suggestion, Ross. So we've introduced that. And one thing we learned very quickly is people love climbing. People love to explore. In fact, in the live event, this became really, really obvious. And it's been obvious in the playground as well. So in the next week or two, we're going to be introducing more of what you might classically call parkour type player behaviors. So a little bit of jumping and lifting yourself up and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Not going crazy on it, but we're just going to increment some of these player mechanics in. And along with that, the one we're really excited about is to introduce the concept of physics and the impact that has on the player. So moving objects at speed, what does it do with a player? And we are currently experimenting with like what we call ragdoll, or what is well known called ragdoll behaviors of a player, where if you get knocked off a building, you wave around like a ragdoll till you land. And that's a new behavior that we're experimenting with right now. The reason this stuff's important is because the simplest games can then start to be made, not by us, but by
the community
once the builder tool comes out. So all it means from our perspective, theoretically, is we could introduce some smart objects into the builder. They're dynamic moving objects. They will have an impact if they hit someone. And then all of a sudden you've got major obstacle course capabilities in the builder for fun stuff that you can do with your player.
So small player changes, but physics is a big one. And I think you and I have spoken a lot about having mechanics that are simple to use, but also having players that have an advanced mechanic. You see it in a lot of games nowadays where, jumping is pretty easy, but to crouch jump or to slide crouch jump is something different. And I think it adds a whole new level and dynamic to the game. And like Paul was saying, physics and ragdolling and all of this just sets you up even more for the builder. And on that topic, the builder tool is super, super close, getting everything together. Update us. What's going on, my man?
Builder tool's going really, really well. A refresh on the UI, or a polish, let's call it that, on the user interface. So it's a lot easier to use from that perspective, a lot more drag and drop, that kind of thing, which is quite hard to do from a UI perspective, but we've made great strides there. I would like to say my hope is that by the time you and I are doing our next dev update, that the builder will be out. Fingers crossed. In its first version. There's a few things that might have been in the original version which aren't quite in this one just yet. They will come back. There are no features in the original builder I think we've scrapped necessarily, apart from some of the props which weren't very good. But I think all the features will ultimately come back. There's a couple that aren't in it, but there's a plethora of whole new stuff, primarily around the procedural stuff and the smart objects, which will be coming. The other thing about the builder, as I always say on every podcast, is it's not all about the builder, it's all about everything else that goes around it. So very quickly, it'd be great to have the builder, everybody have the builder, and they go, hey, this is fun. But then they're like, well, I'm building, but what am I building and for what?
Right.
And we want to quickly this time leap to a position where actually there's some visibility in what you build. And one of the things that have gone through our heads here at Pavia is, well, one of the earliest things I would love to be able to do, and of course this reinforces our plans to, we're building the main game foundation, but into the playground right now, is at the moment, all of the content in the playground in terms of plots is indeed coming from the cloud as planned, and if you've been paying attention, you'll know this because we've been pushing content without patching the game directly into into the playground. But what we want to be at the next level of that is actually each one of those plots within the playground actually is pulling in the data as if it had come from the builder. Okay, so there's an interpretation piece of work that's going on there, which is here comes the actual builder data as it will be compiled and created by the builder. I'm now pulling this into the playground, I'm interpreting it, and I'm building that scene.
Wow.
And the reason I want to move on to that real quick is because then we can go back to the community and do some fun stuff. Go, right, you're all busy building. Let's get some of this stuff into the playground. And I know no one owns any of the plots because it's just the playground, but there's some really interesting ideas we could play around with there. One of them, we may not do this. For example, is I think, is there like it's 89
like
scenes?
89 plots,
Yeah, it's 100 plots, but it's 89 scenes as in total. One of the ideas is we might go, right, that scene there is available for someone to build on. They build on it as soon as they have, that scene now becomes available, or that plot rather becomes available to build on. That one. And we just rotate our way around the 89. So at any given point in time, someone from the community can go, I'm pushing a build, and it'll go on whatever plot's available that day, then on to the next one. Wow. I think that might be quite fun because
I think it's wicked. I think the fact that you can have the builder tool and then you can actually experience deploying it in Pavia and say, hey, listen, come into the playground, see what I've made. I mean, that's the whole goal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even if we can't do that straight off the bat, we on our side could go, oh, look at what so-and-so's just built this. This one looks amazing. Boom. And we'll just find a way of pushing it to the playground and, letting you know in Discord, right, this is in. So a little bit manual to begin with maybe, but that's really the next step. And once you've got that stuff working, this really is the foundations of the main Pavia experience, to be honest with you. Really coming together, yeah.
Big differences between the previous version of the builder and the version now. Like you said, nothing's really been taken out. It's just way more that you can do. You've got primitives. We saw a video earlier last week about stairs. And on top of the videos that I did a while ago as well, there's lots of room for creation, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got things like, and you'd have seen some of the videos of like, here's doors, here's stairs, here's windows, and the capability of those is amazing. But that's kind of like, that's fine if you're building a building or a house, right? Walls are there and they're semi-intelligent, but there's literally loads we still need to do on walls to make that really, really good. But then not everybody wants to build a house, right? And I hope everybody doesn't. They want to build something else, like a parkland or whatever, something interesting. And not forgetting that they will always have the capability of doing stuff outside of the builder from Blender or whatever 3D package and bringing it in. But we will also have this concept of primitives, which is, okay, I'm just going to take a cube or a cone or a pyramid shape or whatever, a diamond shape or a sphere, start with that. And then I can, to an extent, manipulate that and sculpt that a little bit into a shape, which I'm going to combine with this shape, which I'm going to combine with this shape, bring it all together. Oh, right, okay, now I've created what I was looking to create. And actually those primitives, I think, changing the color of them, the materials on them, and so on and so forth, will be like, right, now I can create a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that will only grow. That capability will only grow. So we'll start with some basics and then it will get better and better. Yeah. So
and don't forget, the first version of the builder tool was essentially just drag and drop. You would drag something in, you would drop it in, you would scale it. We've not seen anything of this before. The procedural generation, the walls, the way that windows work, doors work. It's all very exciting. So super excited for that. And then very lastly on my list is MechPaths. Now we have not said a lot about MechPaths for good reason, because there's going to be, there's a lot to come. And I don't really know what to say. There's almost too much to talk about.
There's so much going on.
That we want to be careful not to divulge too much. But I'm excited. You're excited. Talk to me about it. Give us the juicy stuff.
Yeah, so MechPaths it's worked on every single day, so the community now. I mean, a big part of my focus was the playground. Now a big part of my focus is the builder. But every single day, the MechPav project is evolving. And we hope very much. So for anybody who doesn't know, MechPaths will be an NFT drop. We think we're targeting tail end of September.
Indeed, yeah.
Around about that time. but it's a really, really high-end, high-quality, usable 3D mech, which is piloted by a Pav, which goes inside Pav's little fun creatures. I'm sure you know that. Goes inside the MechPav suit. But the suit, the interesting about it is it's been designed in such a way where you will inherit just certain parts of certain classes. So there are a number of classes, but on day one, when you mint, you'll get a complete suit, but it will be made up of a random
Different
jumble
parts,
of parts. They will still look cool as hell, because I've seen what it looks like when they're mixed up, and they still look amazing.
They do.
But for some people, they're going to go, right, let's try and build that class out and finish it in a certain color or a certain style. So it's really a collectibles thing.
Yeah.
But we've gone top end on the quality. And then because we're Pavia, then yes, we are in a position to give them some form of utility on day one.
Yeah.
Day one utility, maybe it works in the game and you can walk
Straight
around
away.
with it and so on
Yeah.
and so forth. But everybody knows that then from there on in, it's just down to our imagination about what we do. And what extra powers and extra things we give to
the
these
possibilities
mechs.
are endless. Basically, what Paul's trying to say is, if you own a Pav, if you love Pavs in any way, shape, or form, things are about to heat up. You know, these Pavs are going to get more utility. These mech Pavs are going to have utility. You know, the customization is on a different level, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. But don't worry, we are aiming for, like you said, end of September time. Everyone will know the details well in advance. We've got a roadmap coming up as well, just so you guys know exactly what's coming. You guys can look forward to it and plan the dates.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think people can expect, probably, you tell me, but probably 4 to 6 weeks ahead of the mint, you're going to really start seeing the content come out. We've kept it all back because we want a nice ramp up to that mint.
Yeah, this isn't like anything you've seen before personally. As someone who's been working on the marketing and with the marketing team, it's there's a lot coming, and I've not seen so much information over the space of like 3-4 weeks before. There's so much to explore, so much to learn, so much new stuff, and just so much to get excited about. So I think I speak on behalf of all the team when I say that we are all very pumped for these MechPaths. So stay tuned. But that is everything from me. That's everything from Paul. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next time.